So my today's topic is SEO, and it's a lot of people nowadays say that SEO is dead. But is it the case? Let's see. All right. So people say SEO is dead, and it's time for PPC, to rule. But that's not the case. SEO is still relevant, and to be very honest, if you are not focusing on SEO, you are missing out a big chunk of your traffic, and you are not doing digital marketing correctly. So according to Search Engine Land, a very reputed source, 50% of the traffic comes from organic search, which is actually 17% more than last year. So again, this statistic shows that how important SEO is. So now, yes, that's a meme. So that's about me. I'm a content and inbound marketing specialist working for last 7-8 years. Now, before we move on, let's start, discussing about the strategies. I want to start with the basics, then we'll move on with the advanced strategies. Now, why basics? Yes, a lot of things you might be aware of the basic strategies, and sometimes you may not be aware of it, but basics are important. If you don't follow the basics, and move on directly to the advanced, it is not going to help you. That's for sure. Okay. So how do you start? First thing is to identify who is your target audience, and you need to design your buyer's persona. If you don't know who you are targeting, or who is a customer who's going to buy your product, then you can't plan your SEO strategy or your digital marketing strategy. So that's very important. Next on the list is keyword planning. Now randomly, we think, all right, I'm running a digital marketing agency, so my keyword will be digital marketing. But there is a lot more than that. So have a proper keyword strategy, then plan your content accordingly. Don't rush things, because that's not going to help you anyways. Another important thing is to understand that whether search engine is crawling your website or not. So you can use tools like Google Analytics, Search Console. I prefer to integrate Tag Manager and then put all the codes there. That makes life much more easier. You must have a sitemap and a robot files, because again, this is basic, but hardly anyone take this as an important point. So please do that. Don't skip this part. On-page SEO, we have tags, meta descriptions, URL structure, a very important thing. We will discuss more in the advanced sections. Image optimization, pretty simple thing, but we tend to avoid it. Please don't do it. Try to make sure all the images are optimized. It have relevant alt tags. It have at least basic description. It not only helps you to get a good ranking, but it also an important aspect for accessibility. So please don't skip that. Now on the screen, you can see some examples how title and meta description looks like and how you can do it. So I have added pictures of two different software plugins. One is Rank Math and one is Yoast. You can use any of the plugins that are available in the market, and the dashboard would look something similar. And again, an example of image optimization before and after. So it's pretty much that. And most important factor to consider in basics, you must have an SSL certificate. Now, if you don't have an SSL certificate, what happens is, first, Google give you a warning. And let's assume that your SEO is good, you have good traffic, and your SSL expired or it's not properly set up. People come to your website and they landed up with a warning. That's not going to help you. So make sure your SSLs are active and it's getting renewed automatically, and all the security factors are in place. So please take care of that. Last but not the least is your website should be optimized for mobile devices. More than 50% of the search comes from mobile devices. Now, if you ignore the fact, that means you're losing 50%, in fact, more than 50% of the traffic. So don't do that. Let's look at a glance, so some of the advanced points. Okay, so what do we mean by health and hygiene? So this means the basic thing that you need to take care in order to run a website and to ensure that your SEO things are in place. First, monitor your up and down time. Why it's important? If you don't monitor it, you will never get notified that your website is down. Simple thing, but we miss out. So please don't do that. You can use free tools like FreshPing. There are a lot more other tools as well, and which are free. So utilize that. Next, again, I already told you about the mobile visitors. So make sure your website, your content, and everything is mobile friendly and mobile optimized. Don't miss on that part. Core vital, again, another important factor. Google officially said core factor are one of the things that they look after for arranging the ranking factors. So don't miss out on that. You can check Google Page Insights. There are other tools as well. So pretty much use those tools, optimize it, take help of your developer friends, and get those things sorted. Your core vital is poor. That means your traffic is going to get hampered. So let's not do that. Okay, now competitive benchmarking. Now, in order to design a strategy, the first thing, uh, apart from clearing of the basics, I think we also need to have a clear understanding about our competitors. So I have divided the flow into three parts. First, who. So it's very important to know who is our competitors, and also to justify why I am picking that XYZ company or website as a competitor. So be very careful while choosing who is your competitors. Next part is what. Now you know that who is your competitors. It's time for you to know what they are doing, and then in the next phase why they are doing. So once you have answer for all of it, then you know exactly what your competitors are doing and what you are doing. Do an analysis and prepare your strategy accordingly. So these are the few points that you can put on your competitor benchmarking. One thing I want to highlight is make sure your KPI is in place, it's well defined, and you know exactly which metrics to be tracked. If you miss out on that, then all your SEO effort will not be monitored properly, and you don't know what to do next. So please make sure your KPIs are in place. Now, semantic SEO, again, this is a very crucial and important topic. I will be going through the slide very quickly so that we have more times in the Q&A, and even there is a time restriction. So even in case if I'm not able to clarify any doubts over here, let's catch up offline. So I think most of you know him. He's very popular SEO guy, Brand Dean. So that's the basic definition that according to him, what is semantic SEO. You can read it. I can allow you some 10-15 seconds. Please go through that. All right. So this is why semantic SEO is important. Now, if you go to Google and type any seed keywords, you will see Google is suggesting you some things. Now, in my case, I was searching from my home. That's why it's showing Bengali. Probably in your case, it will be in a different language. So if you want to get suggested, please take care of semantic SEO. Now, how to take care of it? Now, if you look at the chart, we have taken digital marketing expert as a seed keyword, and other things are related to digital marketing experts. So if your content revolves around, or if you design the content in this pattern, then it will help you to get all the extra searches that you probably are missing out. So please try to arrange and plan your content accordingly so that you meet all these criteria and you get more touch points in terms of SEOs. Content cluster. So what exactly is a content cluster? So the idea of content cluster is you have a primary topic and you have a filler content for the primary keyword or a topic, and then you have similar or related contents which are associated and connected with the primary topic. So this is how you can plan. Again, let's take content marketing as an example. Okay, so again, what we did, we divided it into content creation and content distribution. Again, you can divide it as like whatever possible or however you feel it comfortable. And now you can see the whole tree, how you can divide the content. Now, if you take keyword research, or even if you take content creation, or maybe off-page optimization, whatever points you take, all of them are directly, indirectly revolving around content creation. So the idea is content creation is the main topic, and you have supporting contents that revolves around your main topic. Snippet and schemas. So here are some examples that you can implement in your SEO effort so that you get your schemas and snippets in place. So this is an example of snippet, rich featured snippet. So we call it rank 0. Now if you do a Google search, and most likely the most relevant search term is on the top, and you will find it on rank 0. So your target will always be to rank your content in in rank 0. So what happens? The first thing that comes on the search page is your content. So try to optimize it in that way. We have rich snippet. You can see examples of reviews. You can see examples of rating. Then you have FAQs. So what happens is like you get more real estate on the search page. And search page real estate are very expensive according to me, because if you're on the first page, people will come to your website. If you're on the second page, nobody cares. Is it an example of side links? So pretty much, again, this is important because you get extra links. People can go to multiple part of your website. So this again, helps you to create more traffic and more. It is helpful. Okay, so how to implement? So here are some quick points that you can track. One, structure your content properly. It should be in a well drafted format. Ideally, if you want to do a blog post, it should start with an overview. Then you have your table of content. Then you have the actual content all linked properly. And then you have a conclusion. And also try to leave a call to action for your audience so that you get those engagement. Now, proper use of the schemas. Please make sure that all the schemas are relevant and has been implemented properly. You can know more at schema.org. Interlinking again is super important. Without interlinking, your topical relevance and other activities will not work properly. And never follow a shortcut. Always try to make sure you are following the best practices. Now audit. We do a lot of activities related to SEO, related to other digital marketing activities, but we don't audit our sites on a regular interval. Now my question is, if you are investing some time, some resources towards some activity, and if you're not monitoring it, and if you don't see what progress you are making, then how are you going to define the next step? So audit is a must. It gives you a clear picture, where are you standing and what was your KPI. You compare that and like whether you made a progress or you need more improvement to be done. So please make sure your audits are in place. I prefer to do a monthly audit, and I would suggest at least do a monthly audit. Next, KPIs, follow them like anything. Don't miss out on them, because that's your parameter. That's the place from where you can track what you need to do and how you need to proceed and where are you exactly. A/B testing. Now in digital marketing, if there is nothing called it's permanent, or there is nothing called if you follow this steps, your things will work out. It's always experimentation. So you experiment, you learn something, you take it out. If you fail, that's fine. You take the learning from there and try again. Remove the unnecessary things. Whether there is a blog, or it may be a theme that you tried, it may be a plugin, it may be anything. If it is unnecessary, get rid of your website. Get rid of them from your website. Don't keep them. And yes. So a lot of time what happen is we tends to have a belief that we pick our super important keywords and make multiple contents on that super important keywords. Now what exactly happens? When it gets into Google, you're basically competing for that keyword, and all the pages are competing of your site. So in a way, you're eating up your own traffic. So let's not do that. The best way to plan that is to have a proper keyword map. You make a flowchart. All right, this is my primary keyword or the seed keyword. Now let's figure out maybe 10 secondary keywords and 10 long tail keywords, and plan the content accordingly. Once the content is ready, try interconnecting them, cross posting them here and there, and I think that should be the ideal way to move ahead. And just in case you have already done this mistake already, you add a similar keyword or some contents are already that is scrolling, you want to get rid of them. Immediately what you can do is you can mark them at no index. If you're using WordPress plugins, they give you easy access to do that. And if you don't find an option there, what you can do, there is a file called robot.txt. You can just please allow those particular URLs, and that should solve the purpose. And finally, if you see there is an option to remove it, and that should not be affecting the performance of your website, then what you can do is you can remove it and put a permanent or a temporary redirection. That would also help you. Okay. Now, link structure, why it's important? Because it creates a flow, and it is for it is easier for the user as well for the audience to go through your website. Like in a book, we have table of content. Why? So that we know what's inside the book. Similarly, the link structure need to be implemented properly so that looking at the links or looking at the breadcrumb, people know, okay, so after this, this is coming. After this is coming. So it helps them. Okay, this can be an example of visual structure of how you can design your URL structure and plan your content accordingly. So you can go through it. I would share the slide lead. So I'll share the slides so that you can go through it, and if you have a question during the session, after the session, you can always reach out to me. Okay, now 404. Now sometimes it happens we remove some page, something crazy thing happens and something gets removed. So what happens? You land up with a 404 error. Now in most cases, I would say 99% times it is empty, or it's just like land up with an error, or maybe you have some templates where it's just a 404. Doesn't look good, and on the other hand you are losing traffic. So what can be done? You can add a redirection, whether it's 301 or 302, or else what you can do, that you can redesign the 404 page in such a way so that even if what people were searching for, they didn't get it, but they at least got some content, so that they can, again, they don't need to leave your website. So they're staying in your website, and maybe they get some valuable content as well. I will show you some example. The next slide. Look at how things are done. So amazing, right? This is from Health Scout, and this is from Big Fish Commerce. If you look at it, they have so many information. They have graphics element to keep that attention, and also they have all the important links that they want you to click on. Now, before I wrap up, there are certain things which we should always follow. One, our objective while taking care of SEO should be at least 5%. We at least have a KPI that we will ensure that our SEO effort at least bring 5% improvement on a month-to-month basis. Anything below 5%, it's terrible. Don't do that. Try to improve that. Anything above 5%, it's okay. But again, you need to improve. But it depends from case to case and niche to niche. Another metrics to keep in mind is session duration and bounce rate. If you have higher session duration, that means your audience is enjoying your content. They are reading through your content. They are engaging. So that's a good parameter. You should always try to reduce your bounce rate, because that means people came to your website, what they were looking for, they didn't find it, so they leave, and that's a very negative sign. So try to reduce your bounce rate as much as possible. And finally, there is no shortcut, and there is no tutorial. There is nothing that is there on the internet that will assure you results, that will teach you. What you can do, you get a reference point from there, and you start implementing things. Unless and until you implement it in real practical example, you will not be confident, and you will not see the actual result coming up. So study online, take help from your seniors, take help from other people, learn from everywhere, whatever is available. But at the end of the day, make a habit of implementing it. If you don't implement, it's not going to help. You will forget over the time. Content creation is super important. Without content creation, SEO is nothing. And without proper research, you won't be able to create authentic contents or the content that would be relevant. So research content is non-negotiable. Don't compromise on that. If you need more time, spend it. It's better to go slow and do it in the right way rather than doing one like 1 to 3 in a very fast manner. It's not going to help you in long term. And you won't see the SEO result instantly. It takes time. It's kind of like you have to show your dedication, your hard work, and you will get the fruit over the time. So don't be disheartened when you see I worked a week and I don't see improvement. It's a slow process. Work for it for 3 months, you will see the result. Lastly, make sure you monitor what's going on. You analyze the results, you analyze the performance, and improvise. So, just to conclude, SEO is not dead. Don't think it in that way. And yes, I'm open, and I would love to take any questions that you have.